On and off for 10 years, I lived with a stranger. Not just a man with a secret, but someone with a side so dark and sadistic, it felt like living a psychological thriller. From hidden devices to high tech surveillance installed throughout my home, he created a digital cage. It was the growls, the whispers, and the breathing coming through my own home security cameras that confirmed he wasn't working alone. They didn't just want to watch me, they wanted to break my mind. He spent years trying to convince me I was delusional. During the 2 years we spent apart, I finally found my footing. So when he came back into my life and those familiar shadows started creeping in again, I didn't doubt myself. This time, I knew I wasn't crazy. Everything I had suspected over those previous years, the reasons I had left him before, turned out to be true. He was so comfortable gaslighting me that he truly believed he could say anything and I would eventually buy it. But once I recognized the patterns, I knew I needed a sanity anchor. I needed proof. I didn't need it for the police or anyone else. I needed it for my own mental safety. I needed proof so that when he looked me in the eye and said, "It's all in your head," I would have the truth to hold on to. I started keeping a record of everything: the secret accounts, the login info for GitHub, and other odd apps and sites. In November 2024, my intuition told me something was deeply wrong. So I set out my own hidden recorders, one video camera and a few audio devices. Shortly after I started, the dynamic shifted. He mysteriously lost his job and stopped working. I believe now he did that to keep an eye on me. He knew that I knew, or at least that I was catching on. For the longest time, I thought he was just cheating. What I discovered was far more sinister. Here is the chilling part of the digital prison. While I thought I was being smooth, while I thought I was one step ahead, he and they were already there. I only realized this after he moved out and I finally had the time to watch the recordings, at least the ones that weren't deleted or corrupted, because they had hacked my computer. They had access to my files. They were watching me gather the evidence against them. My blood ran cold when I watched one specific video from my hidden camera. He looked like he was being tipped off in real time. He received a call, looked directly at the camera, and whispered, "Yeah," into his earbuds. On a separate audio recording, I heard a man's voice say, "I've scanned the whole house. There's only a camera outside the bathroom." On this occasion, he was acting very suspicious, and I was about to go out, so I put an audio recorder in my hallway closet and my hidden camera inside the front door, which is outside the bathroom. When I went out, I checked my security feed and heard shuffling and voices from the garage. I texted him one word, "Really?" just to see his response. I knew if he was innocent, he'd respond immediately with a question or question mark. He left me on red for 5 minutes. He was confused. He was frantically checking with his team to see why I was texting that. But the most haunting moment was a video of me standing in my kitchen, completely unaware. When I listened back to the audio later, I got chills. Someone was growling at me, and I did not hear that in real time. It was only on the recording. Imagine the psychological toll of realizing that while you thought you were alone in your home, someone was effectively haunting you, whispering things into the air that only microphones could catch. For months, I lived in that haunting. I lived in the digital prison. But in late 2024 and early 2025, the locks began to turn. You see, I believe the universe doesn't just let us suffer. It gives us windows of time where the truth becomes impossible to ignore. For me, that window was a Saturnian wake-up call. In astrology, Saturn is the planet of reality, boundaries, and hard truths. For a decade, I was living under what we call Neptunian Fog. Neptune is the planet of illusions and dreams. And when it's activated in your relationships, you don't see people for who they are. You see them for who you hope they are. But when Saturn moved into my seventh house, the seventh house is the house of partnerships, but it's also the house of open enemies. Saturn acts like a cosmic flashlight. It swept through my life and killed the illusion. It didn't just show me the dark side of the man I was with, it showed me the dark side of the entire system I was trapped in. He underestimated my strength and ability to push through and overcome anything. That is my 12th house Leo stellium. The 12th house is the place of hidden things. My enemies thought they were clever by operating in the shadows, but they forgot one thing. I was born in the shadows. My soul knows how to navigate the dark. Saturn gave me the discipline to keep those sanity anchors. It gave me the coldness I needed to look at a video of someone growling at me and not crumble, but instead hit save. If you are in your own version of a digital prison right now, I want you to look at your own Saturn. Where do you need to stop wishing and start documenting? Where is the fog lifting for you? Because once you see the pattern, the haunting ends. The ghosts lose their power when you realize they are just men and women with microphones. If this episode resonated with you, or if you've heard those same whispers in your own home, please know you are not alone. Join me next Wednesday for a brand new episode. Until then, stay grounded, keep your anchors, and take your power back. I'm Adeana, and this is Adeana's Diary. Available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music.